Hello everyone, good afternoon, wherever you're watching from. My name is Oluwaseyi. So I want to give today's the 18th of January 2025. So just like we know, the year just started and we're just in the few months of the beginning of the year 2025. But what really happened is the earlier we plan ahead for the year, the better we're able to identify opportunities in the market as quickly as possible. So I want to do a review of the installation of the EA for the month of January to be able to see what has happened so far in the course of the month. And we'll also be able to plan ahead for the rest of the year. Okay. The concept we want to identify, remember, it's we're building our condition on three logics, which is that at the end of the period, um, beginning of the period, we're going to have the same position for the start, high price and the low price. At the end of the period, we are going to have different positions for the high and the low price. And finally, at the end of the period, one of the two positions will come first. So because you're going to have different prices for the high price and the lowest price in the period, then one of those positions must come first. So the earlier we identify the first position to come first, then the better for us that will be able to predict accurately the direction of the market and be able to take actions timely and perfectly. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Usually what I do is for now is to take some datas from the EA. So from the datas, we'll be able to see and have an idea of the performance of the market. So I'll just do a little bit of scan for you, and then I'll be able to explain the logic behind the theory, and then we will now be able to review continuously until we are perfected in the idea of the logic. Okay, so let me share my screen with you. Yeah, okay, so this is one of the EAs. Okay, so um, we're going to want to take some recordings, sorry, some pictures um, of the, to be able to copy down. Okay, so that you'll be able to see the updates on the account. Okay, so these are the two. Okay, yeah, so here we are. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to take in the pictures continuously. Okay, so I'm going to be taking in the pictures continuously. So for example, here, Euro USD. So this is the last update. Okay. I'm sorry, before I did that, I was supposed to have actually taken the header. Okay. So let me take the header first. So it started on January 10 for the updates. Then we have January 15th update. And today is 18th of January. Okay. So we're going to have January 18 update. As we're going to copy all of them. based on those information. Okay, so this will give us the current updates. So I'm going to do that for all the products. I'm just going to copy just few of them for you to be able to show you how it works. Okay. Yep. So what are these information that I'm copying? Okay. So I'm going to explain to you now for you to be able to see the importance of the information that I'm copying. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So let me copy this last one and I'm going to explain to you what it means. Okay. So what does this mean? So from this information, you can see here we have the I price. For example, this is Euro JPY. We have the I price at 164.55 was activated on the 7th of January. And we have the low price at 159.722 and was activated on the 17th of January. So from this information here, you can see that the high price was activated on the 7th of January and the low price was activated on the 17th of January. So what this means is that the high price came first, and then from this high price, we start selling downwards to this point. Okay, so the ability of the EA to identify this position and then as the extreme and then begins to take decisions towards the extreme here, it's a very vital key, okay, towards making positive results and giving profit at the end of the day. So once here becomes static again, then the market continues the trend again as a buy upwards. Okay, so but for now, from the 7th to the 17th of January, the market had been a sell trend. Okay, so that is what has actually happened. Okay, so Euro GBP, for example, look at same thing on like the earlier version. You can see the low position was 0.828, the high is 0.85845.6. You can see the low activated on the 7th of January and the high price activated on the 15th of January, as you can see here, on the 15th of January, which is at this point. Okay, so the low came first, so which means that this market is a buy market. Okay, so as far as this comes first, then we're able to identify the trend of the market as a buy from a sell. Okay, so that is how this information uh, is able to help us to predict the market behavior. Now, this Euro AUD is really, really crazy because the market has been very volatile in the course of the month. But despite that, from the report here, you can see the high price was activated on the 10th of January and the low price was activated on the 16th of January. So despite that, the high came first and then the market came down to this point, even though the price now is back to the midpoint. Okay, so from this information, we are able to identify the trend of the market as quickly as possible. Okay, so that is what this information is all about, and that is how this EA will be able to help us to predict the correct decision of the market. Okay. So for the other one, so the next one is let me explain also. Uh, so the next one is project Victoria um template. Okay. So as you can see, it is project Victoria template. So just like I said, so here we have, according to the theory, even despite we still have information based on what we explained earlier. But here we have 6 lines. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So what determines the decision or the direction of the market is when the market goes against 3 of the lines, and finally when it goes against 4 of the lines. So once the market goes against 4 of the lines, then it means the market is going towards a direction. Okay. And when the market reverts from the fourth position back to the third line, then that means the market is preparing to take the next move. Okay. So in this instance, for example, at this point, we have the lines here as 1, 2, 3, 4. So at this point here, we expect the line to go above the green line, okay, for us to make a move. So, and as you can see here, the market went 1, 2, 3, 4 above the green line here. So from this point upwards, the market went upwards to this point. So from the 6th of January, the market ceased going upwards. So after 2 days, 6th to 8th, the market started coming downwards. Now, the main decision for a sell will usually comes, like I said, after the third and the fourth line. So now the market went line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4. So from this point on, which is this green line, the market became a sell, and then the market sold downwards onto this point. Okay, so later the market went back up again. Now our fourth line has changed. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this now becomes our new fourth line, and then we're able to sell from this point downwards again to the lowest, to the new extreme. Okay, so the ability to be able to look ahead and identify these fourth lines, both at all the directions, will also help us to be able to take our actions as quickly as possible. Okay, so this is AUD/JPY. So another example is AUD/USD. So you can see at the beginning we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So the fourth line was activated. Um, as you can see, the fourth line was activated at this point, which is the blue line. The market went upwards to this point. Now, from this point on, the market did not change again, and the market started coming downwards. So now, from this point, let's look at the fourth line. 1, 2, 3, 4. So from this blue line again, the market is expected to come down, and it activated the blue line from this point. So from this line, the market came down again to the extreme point. So from this extreme point again, we are looking at the fourth line. So we have the first, second, third, fourth. So from this blue line upwards, if the market goes upwards again, then it's going to be a buy all the way down. Else, from this point downwards, the market will be a sell. So that is the update from this information. So using the lines, the market will be able to quickly identify the trend of the market, and will be able to quickly take action and be able to know the decision of the market as a buy or a sell. And that will also help our decision making. So, so just like I said earlier, so for this, for example, all I just need to do is take a snapshot of, and then post it on. So I have a template for that as well. So which is this. Okay. So just like I did for the previous one. Yeah, so I need to get the dates correct as well. So yeah, so just like earlier, today is 18. So, so that's how we're going to copy the pictures as well to be able to follow the trend. This will be able to give us the updates of the market movement in the course of the period. Okay. So once we are logging, once we have this data, we'll be able to see and project the moves of the market in advance as quickly as possible. So that will help us to be able to take the correct action and also to be able to identify the price and the positions to plan for the backups. Okay, so that will help us to be able to plan better and faster for the backups as well using this information. So the earlier we get this information correctly, the better for us, because that will also help us to be able to take decisions as fast as possible. Okay, so um, and just like I said, this is just about a matter of which side the market is. So we want the market to be from to take decisions or to give us a predictor of the direction from the fourth line. Okay, so the ability to get the fourth line as quickly as possible will help us to take correct and accurate decisions towards the direction of the market, and that will help us to be able to take our bets correctly and also to be able to plan ahead. So you can imagine when the market was at this point. From this point, we have the fourth line 1, 2, 3, 4 as the blue line. So from this point, from this time on, we could have easily been able to identify this price, which we already know, and be able to take the decisions from this point. Now, when the market was on this point on the 13th, we just need to get 1, 2, 3, 4, identify this point, and be able to know that once this market moves upwards from this point, then the market is likely to move continually up and probably change this information at the end of the day. So this will help us to be able to get and plan effectively and earlier for the information on the market as quickly as possible. Okay, so that's part of the things that will also help us to be able to predict decisions effectively and also to be able to take actions um, ahead of the market. Okay. So let me try and complete the season, the reports, and then I will now be able to do the final overview of the performance in the course of the month of January 2025. Course of January 2025. Um, Yeah, so welcome back. So I've completed the updates, as you can see here. So all the products have been taken care of as of today. Um, as of today, which is the 18th of January. Okay. Yeah. So now what are the key things that want to identify from this report? Now we want to use this report to be able to help to identify the direction of the market. So just like I showed you earlier, this report has been taken from different dates. So we have January 18th, okay, which is today. We have the previous one, January 15th, you can see, and we have January 10th. So all these reports were taken at different times. So let's look at Euro USD, for example. High and low prices. Um, the high was on the 6th and the low was on the 10th of January. Okay, so let's look at the same thing again on the 15th. So you can see the high still remains the 6th and the low on the 13th. Okay, and let's look at the 18th. So the high remains the 6th and the low remains the 13th. So that means from the 13th, the price is not go lower again from then on. Okay, so the two extremes were the first extreme was in the first period, the second extreme was in the second period. So for the third period, nothing has changed. Okay, so let's look at AUDJPY for example again. AUDJPY, you can see high on the 7th and the low on the 1st. Okay, so the high remains static. So the in the first period, the market came down. Okay, let's look at the second period. In the second period, you can see the market came down again on the 13th to 96.38. Okay, so let's look at the fourth period, at the third period, which is January 18. So the third period, you can see the price came down again to this on the 17th, which is yesterday. So in the three periods, the market has been coming down, whereas the high position has remained the same from the beginning of the period. So this has shown that this market has been a sell market from the 10th. Okay, so getting this information will be able to help us to now be able to predict the action to take, identify the action to take, and then be able to take the correct decision for the market. Okay, so let's take one more sample. So let's look at AUD USD. So AUD USD, you can see from high and low, the high was on the 6th and the low was on the 10th. So the market came down. Okay, so let's look at the second period. For the second period, you can see the market came down on the 13th. You can see the high still remains the same. Let's look at the third period, AUD USD. So for the third period, you can see no change in the third period. So which means the market stopped changing from the second period, okay, after the second period. So in the third period, the market situation is still the same like the second period. So this helps us to be able to identify when to take actions and also to see where there are opportunities, okay? So at least no matter what, we should be able to have used opportunities from the 6th to the 13th to take a sell in this scenario before we exit the market. So that will also help us to be able to identify the best actions to take in the course of the month. Okay, so this is what we expect this report to be able to do for us every month, to be able to see the direction of the market as much as possible and to be able to take actions effectively. And also on the second aspect as well, so also this from every last report, just like I said, we can always be able to see and get information about the market. So we can be able to see the movement of the market over the course of the lines, and then that will also be able to help us to take actions as quickly as possible, and also to be able to um, identify um, the direction and when the market wants to change, also as effective as possible. So using this, believe that it's going to help us a lot to be able to take the actions when it's necessary, and also to be able to see. So, and also able to see the best decisions that will give us the best results. Okay, so that is the plan of what we want to achieve with these EAs. Can you see? So, for example, just like I explained, we just want the market at the beginning. We just want the market to move to 4 lines to one side. So we can see here from this point, 1, 2, 3, 4, the market moved to 4 lines at the top, and then we should have taken best use of the opportunity from this point to make a sell downwards to this point. Okay, same thing here. You can see the 4 lines, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we should have used the opportunity from this point to take the position of a buy upwards to this point. Okay, so I believe be able to identify this information as quickly as possible will help us to take the correct action, and also be able to help us to make positive trades effectively every month without any issue. Okay, so that is what we plan to achieve, and hopefully we will be able to achieve that by God's grace in this year 2025. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate the time you've been with us over the course of these years. And I believe that this year, by God's grace, we should be able to identify and take positive actions that will help and boost our trading performance. Thank you very much. I remain yours and only Oluwase Fadare. Have a great time and a great month of January and the year 2025 ahead. Cheers. Bye.